Today's September 13th, and today's quote is entitled, "Change Your Story." When you change your story about what happened, it changes your perception of the situation. When you change your perception, you change your emotions about what happened. When you change your emotions, your response to what happened changes. Knowledge is meant to change the way we see things. When the way we see things changes, the things we see change. This is a very powerful quote, but actually it's very simple, but it's powerful because it can help you in so many ways. When you change the way you look at something, your understanding of it changes, and then your feelings towards it change. And feelings are what causes action. You know, sometimes you have a problem and then you speak to your spiritual master or you speak to a mentor or another devotee. And then after they talk to you, you change the way you think about the situation. So now you're seeing it differently, and as a result, you're responding differently, you feel differently, and as a result, you can act differently. So all of a sudden, the thing changes. So let's say an example is a person, and you feel that a person did something wrong, or perhaps a person hurt you. And then your spiritual master talks to you and explains, well, this is what the person was trying to do. This is the struggle they had. These were the anxieties they were going through. So in that situation, they were very stressed out. And they really didn't hurt you. They were just frustrated inside. And they were kind of dealing that way with everyone. And it was really too much for them to handle. And then we gave them help, and then they were okay. Oh, okay, I understand. Your spiritual master might say, if you were in that situation, would you have had anxiety? Would you have been stressed? And you might say, yeah, I would be. So all of a sudden now, you're seeing it from a different perspective. It's a more what we could call empathic perspective, a more compassionate perspective. In our forgiveness work, we always ask people, try to see your abuser from their point of view. What were they thinking? Why do you think they were doing that? What is their history? What need were they trying to fulfill? Were they intentional about it? Was it accidental? Did they mean it? Did they not mean it? Were they even aware that they did it? And a lot of times what happens is when we switch the story around by seeing it from their perspective, because it's a new story, we don't feel the resentment anymore. Because all getting rid of resentment really is about is changing your story. So you go through different processes to change your story. But once your story changes, that they really weren't trying to hurt me, or Krishna was trying to send me a lesson, or actually they were reacting to something I did. Some story changes, then all of a sudden, there's nobody to forgive because nothing really happened that was wrong. So many, many situations where we're upset, the person hasn't actually done something wrong. They've just been innocent. But we had an expectation, we had a need that wasn't being met, we were upset. But it really wasn't about them doing something wrong. And so when we understand that, we have a new story, new way of looking at it. All of a sudden, the resentment goes, the anger goes, the jealousy goes, the envy goes, whatever it was, we see it in a more compassionate way. Even with lust or greed, if someone has sexual thoughts about another person, and you put yourself in that person's shoes as if you were that person, you wouldn't want somebody looking at you with lusty eyes. And that can purify you. You're changing the way you see things, and all of a sudden the relationship changes, and then you feel more benevolent towards that person and less exploitive. You don't want to enjoy them, you want to serve them, you feel for them. So whenever you're feeling something that isn't Krishna conscious, if you can reframe the story, see it in a more Krishna conscious way, then everything changes. Hare Krishna.